切じながら冥福はいず外道が笑えば神がなす諸行に拉致なき沙汰あれば魔道の始末を請負いたす己は美容の完璧死の散り花無用の
Hello everyone and welcome back to the next episode of Talk to Me About, the podcast where we talk about everyone's favorite characters and what they get up to and the lives they get on and why they love them and other various silly reasons like that. I'm your host, Dee, and here I'm with my co-host today, Jay. Say hello, Jay.
Hello.
And we have 4 Baiken lovers because she's such a beloved character in the cast. And so let's start off with Melissa. Holy shit! It sounds so good.
Thank you.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing just fine. I'm doing well, I did get sent to the AP office today, and I have Saturday detention, but other than that, I'm doing fucking swell.
Hell yeah. You can definitely bring your guitar there and rock detention, I guess.
Yeah. Maybe I can get out of it by impressing the teacher with my epic guitar skills.
I'm sure Baiken would skip school too, so... Or, go to detention and shit.
Well, she does have that
She'll
jacket.
definitely steal a singular Twix bar.
It's like kind of that delinquent trope, so...
Next up, we have Ram, Dark in the Park on Twitter. How are you doing?
I'm okay.
Glad to hear it. I really love your art.
Oh, thanks. Thanks.
Next up, we have ikaguraRED. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm a purveyor of Baiken.
Fuck yeah. I love all your Baiken clips on Twitter. I definitly feel it. When are you going to bring back the profile picture?
Eventually, it'll come back once my furry arc's over.
What about free Baiken?
And last but not least, we're bringing back from the ABBA episode, Melly.
Hi.
Blue Ribs on Twitter.
It's Melly.
Hi, Melly. Happy Melly Monday.
It's Melly Monday, everybody.
It's Melly Monday.
It's Melly Monday. It's Melly Monday.
Now let's play some fucking Baiken and +R.
Oh yeah,
Video
baby.
games.
Yeah, because I don't have Strive.
Well, we'll play Strive in a bit too.
I know.
So
just to let y'all know, I'm playing keyboard right now, so if I'm a bit ass.
you're a keyboard warrior?
Alright.
Finally.
You may say so. I would play on controller, but it ran out of batteries. So, you know how it is.
The question: what do you guys like about Baiken? The man, the woman herself?
Hits. She's just sick as shit.
Cool.
She's the coolest to ever do it.
She's just really fucking cool.
Like, she's really unique, I feel, in that there's not many, characters who just up and use a sword, which is weird for me to think, but
Yeah, now we have, Nago, who's also, a samurai and uses a sword, and,
Ah, yes, neutral.
I think it's really cool, too, that
I don't remember what keys.
has a unique, weapon in the fact that it's such a plain, simple sword. When you consider that Soul's whole thing is that he uses a sword that is actually a lighter, that is actually a big part of a magic nuclear gun, that is, and then you have Kai, who has the most magic-iest lightning sword of all time, and then it's just Baiken.
Baiken just got a fucking katana.
Well, that's just... There's all her hidden weapons, too.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, she has a prosthetic arm, which is all the hidden weapons, and it's like...
I didn't know it was a prosthetic. I thought it was just
Yeah, it's a prosthetic.
That's really cool.
Yeah, and I think it's really cool, too, the fact that Baiken is a disabled character, which you may not think immediately, but because she hides it really well.
Yeah.
But she is missing an arm, and she's missing an eye, obviously because of her own trauma that she's gone through and things like that.
Video game. No,
What?
Fuck.
Man, I'm so good at playing on keyboard.
Truth.
I think some characters are better when you play with keyboard because it's just a glorified hitbox at that point, right? Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm playing on a laptop keyboard, D.
Yeah, and also it's just like hard to learn if you're not used to it. But
Yeah,
like,
I am not used to playing +R on keyboard.
But yeah, I feel like
Especially
it's kind of rare for disabled characters to be portrayed as earnestly as Baiken is, because it's like
Oh, bitch.
a lot of times I feel like they'll like, get like a replacement completely, and it just it doesn't like factor in at all. But like she's never had anything like that.
she's someone that, like, obviously the start of her problems is that she feels she was too weak as a child to stop the like onslaught and trauma and rampage that happened.
Just like army of gears.
She lost everything, including like her dominant hand, her eye. She can't see clearly anymore in a very Spike Spiegel kind of way, actually. And fuck, I'm mashing so fucking hard.
Me too. I am so good on keyboard.
I think I just busted out a taunt.
But, yeah, I think to Melly's point, that was kind of the first thing that really jumped out.
It's very different
when I was hovering through the account character select and saw Baiken. It's just like, not only is she just straight cool with the sword, but I think the affect that she carries herself with, like the kind of bravado and just how darn big she is, I think really stood out to me and made her look super duper sick. And I think in no small part of that, because of, as we've already mentioned, the portrayal of all of her disabilities as not something that like are just washed away. Yeah, like the fact that she turns it into a unique fighting style all of her own, I think is really fun and cool. I think the trick weapons are very, not exactly like Chanbara, but it feels... But like...
Sorry, I declined it, sorry.
It's okay.
But yeah, I think the fact that
Continue, Jay.
the fact that they don't do away with those things, the fact that it's still a part of her character, and that, like Melly was saying, she doesn't get a replacement arm or a replacement eye. Like, those are still things that she, you know, deals with every day, and her rest of her character is informed by that. I think is really cool.
Alright, D.
And, like, especially because like those are things that she probably definitely could get replaced in the world of Guilty Gear.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
But it's just it's such like a part of who she is.
Well, then again, this is assuming Baiken has the money to do so.
Well, even disregarding,
she has the connections and stuff to other characters.
Yeah, she's
fair enough.
got Anji's money.
Poor Anji. That man must be in so much debt. I'm the red one.
Yeah, I'm the yellow one. I think it's really interesting too that when Guilty Gear 1 first dropped, you know, Missing Link, she's a secret character. She's not even a character that's meant to be in the cast. She's just Daisuke saying, hey, I thought Rurouni Kenshi was cool, and I thought this guy was a girl, actually, and here's my fan character.
I thought that's just what they get to.
Baiken isn't even related to, like, metal directly, or a music reference like other characters are. She really is just her own person. And I can't even imagine what it must have felt like if I was playing Missing Link, and I just saw this raggedy old hag of a woman that's just in tattered clothes coming up to me with a sword and then beating the shit out of me with tatami mats and just, like, bombarding me. And I think that's really cool.
yeah, I think
her portrayal in Missing Link is probably my favorite, not just only because like it's like when she was like most ferocious, I feel like, in her animations. Because if you compare it to like her animations in like XR and especially in Strive, like nothing against them, I think they still look absolutely wonderful and she's great and I love her. It's just there's clearly a very different approach to portraying her more as like boobs than as just a vicious warrior.
She almost feels like her design-wise, she feels almost like over-designed in Exert and Strive to me.
I really like their designs, and I have to defend them every day from people who assume that I don't like them because I also just like it when Baiken is a smelly rat woman.
Yeah.
I guess that would be. I was planning to save it for later on in the video, but I think it'd be good, I guess, if we go into it now. How do you feel about past Baiken versus new Baiken? It is the topic of many conversations with this character. Obviously, people have Baikens that they love and Baikens that they dislike, and Baiken started off as a very androgynously male character, and then transformed into a somewhat womanly but brazen woman that she is now. And I would like to see what design do you guys prefer in that sense?
I prefer the androgyny, but like I love both of them, as I said before, because
I like all Baiken. All Baiken.
Yeah, I'm
100%. Yeah,
I'm a big fan of both designs.
Same here. That's my answer too. I think I really like the progression. I think both angles of Baiken provide different like readings of her character, and I think no matter what, she is a character that is about being a woman. It may be because with her inception, she is, by definition, someone that was created just as, hey, what if this character was a woman?
Yeah.
And that's just followed
Pretty
her
much.
since.
I always like that.
But I like that
as she's like kind of
she goes
grown
from such a...
Sorry.
Yeah, no, you can go.
Okay. I like that as she's sort of grown in her own personality, she became less about, getting revenge for what happened to her as a child.
Yeah.
She shows that more through her outfits, and I always like that about her.
You can see her healing throughout the games, which is interesting.
Yeah, I
You
was
walk up to me, I'm
thinking
not
it's like
walking up to
when people like say that they hate the change in direction for like Baiken's designs, I feel like they're also missing the point that like she's a completely different character now, and I feel like it would be really boring if she was just hellbent on revenge the entire time.
Yeah.
Because like
that's
a
what she
character
was for 20 years. She was just someone. I am looking for revenge against this man, and that is it. Like,
This man?
That man. Sorry. And that was just about it. She didn't know who her killer was. She didn't know what he looked like. She didn't know what he, even what the extent of what he did. All she thought was, my family is gone, my village is gone, this guy has committed countless atrocities and genocide, he needs to pay for it, because I have nothing else, there's no purpose to me, so I will undertake this foul deed no matter what.
That's why I've always
And I think it's reflected in her design that she just grabbed whatever she had, like, I guess this kimono that she had as, like, a remainder of her, like, village.
I always like
That's not important.
I always like the aspect of like Baiken's story, right? Where like it's like she's throughout Strive and stuff. She's always been trying to find like hope in like a sort of hopeless world. At least for her, she was given like the worst card like imaginable like in life. Like she should be miserable, and she's throughout like all of it in Strive and such. She finds a goal. She goes from like having this horrible just revenge side quest because she doesn't see any other purpose to having effectively a family, like found family. It's really nice to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
cannot believe she became like a mother, sister, like, I don't even know the best word to describe it. I guess the best word I can think to describe it is the new term, queer platonic pal or friend. I don't actually know what the real phrase for that is, QPP. But she's just got a very gender androgynous family and found someone that resembles herself too and just wants to care for this person above all else, and I think when I looked at Baiken, that's something I deeply connected with, and I felt for her.
Milia's theme! Sorry, I really like Milia's theme.
It's a good song.
I think, yeah, that resonated with me pretty well too, especially with regards to the progression her design as the games went on, because like, yeah, as she's introduced, she's a really grounded design among the characters of Guilty Gear. It's just this woman in a kimono, and of course she does like
she really stands out.
But you juxtapose her against the rest of the cast. Yeah, exactly. It's almost more compelling that she is so understated, but then as the games progress, she gets a little bit more hyperized, like we see with a lot of the other Guilty Gear characters. But I think that like really helps her character, and at least for my own interpretation of the progression of her character, I think it's something that we touched on a lot. I always saw it as kind of the opposite, where it's sort of marking the negative effects that her pursuit of vengeance have had on her person, because while it's something that has given her direction and a sense of purpose in life, it's also like slowly eating away at her, because she gets introduced, and I would say she's alongside her androgyny, she's a little bit more well put together. You know, her clothes are still a little raggedy, but not super duper raggedy, especially when you compare her to like Exit.
I'm actually gonna sorry to interrupt, but actually Missing Link is the only game where like her kimono is like tattered all over instead of just on the missing arm.
Oh, is it really just the missing arm?
Yeah, it yeah. And because like in Plus R here, like it's actually like a pretty normal looking kimono, other than the torn up arm from her weapons, but yeah. And
well, she still has the decal and things on there. Which,
yeah. But what's it? And then also, like, I was just thinking, like, she looks like she combs her hair more in Strive, or at least once in, like, Strive and, XR.
Well, in Strive, I really like the smart decision they took where she now has, like, a mane. Like, she never once has cut her hair since she was, like, 6 years old. And it really shows that it's just, like, her hair creates a bigger silhouette than she is.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
And it really adds to her
I don't know if you guys ever looked at what her height is, but she's like 5'2" or something, or 5'3". And
she's tiny.
But she gives off the aura that she's this big, tall, strong woman because her hair takes up the entirety of her silhouette and goes above her head, and it's something that forces you to look up and go, oh my god, what the hell is coming at me? Which is really interesting.
And like her hair in Strive has
Graham?
like it gives off like this impression of like animal ears, like a fox ear or something like that, and that like shows like she's still a little wild, I guess you could say.
Yeah, that was the vibe that I was really getting.
Or kind of like horns even, which makes me think of like one of her quotes in XR. She's like, "Am I a demon? Maybe." It just,
maybe.
And it's that sort of like nonchalantness about like her own morality, which I really love.
Like she doesn't even
know
what she is.
I think that would be a really good time to bring up the fact that how does she play in Plus R? And like,
she's
obviously
fucking evil. I fucking love her. Cheater character for cheaters who love to cheat.
Yeah, she's a guard.
Which is interesting because her whole thing is that she's a defensive character.
Yeah.
She turns opponents' offensive back around at them. Do you feel like that's reflected in gameplay and like?
Absolutely.
And
her entire thing is guard cancels. Half of her move list is guard cancels.
Like have her moves like they can only be done when you're blocking or when you're doing Suzerain, which is a command dash.
This is a funky little move.
It's command dash, but it also has auto guard on it. It's
Anji spin.
Yeah. Exactly. So it's very funny.
Anji stole her cool fucking parry moves. It's so sad. What the fuck, Anji? Not cool.
They learned
too, Anji.
Aww.
But yeah.
Well, when you put it like that, maybe it's okay.
Yeah, it's love.
I mean, his counter super has the same pose as Baiken's Azami parry stance from XR.
Oh my god, how do I do instant kill? I can get into the mode, but I can't do it.
It's double quarter circle forward and heavy slash.
That. It's that, exactly.
I'm hitting heavy slash.
It may be that you don't have enough meter. I don't know how instant kills work in this game.
Wait, do you remember when you were playing Plus R with me and Waffles and you kept going into IK mode trying to faultless defense?
I know, because in Strive I have faultless defense as a multiple attack button, so I just fucking smack my attack buttons and I think I'm in faultless.
Anyways, going back to what we like about Baiken, the initial thing that got me into Baiken is actually how much she reminded me of Guts from Berserk, really.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. I can totally see that.
Like, just the fact that she has lost everything and still doesn't even have good reasons to keep going except for a vague plot of revenge, and that...
Yeah. They also both had their lives ruined by white-haired twinks.
And I think it's the Berserk parallel is also apt because for both Guts and Baiken, the object of the revenge is completely unreachable. Like, will Guts even ever see Griffith again? Like, after, like, however many chapters and so many years, in more than a decade, like, Guts has barely even seen Griffith. And I get that same sense with Baiken and Asuka and Baiken and that Happy Chaos. She does not meet either of them. She has a quote against Happy Chaos where she scolds him and says, like, "You're the one thing that I genuinely was afraid of, but I'm not afraid anymore, and all I do now is pity you. I can't believe this is the life you lead where you feel nothing. I have spent my entire life feeling so much and acting like I wasn't, and I can't even imagine what it's like to still be stuck in that point."
Also,
the suffering that you have.
It's I actually love the interaction because it shows that Baiken is the one thing that Happy Chaos actually does fear. He's like, "Oh great, here I thought I was all done with fear," and then she's like, I didn't think I'd be this calm.
Because I think it's that, like, I think it's really important to dig into what Happy Chaos fears within Baiken, and it's that Baiken
she has nothing to lose.
What her faults was. She acknowledged
and
the conflict, the drama in her life, but she changed. She moved on, and she's still, like, surviving, and she's happier than she was before, and still finding new experiences. And she's not living a dull, stagnant life like you would have thought, where it's like, oh, you reached a happy ending and that's it. Okay, well, what bad thing is going to happen next? What good thing is going to happen next? I want to see what's happening in her life. No, what Baiken does now is that she occupies herself with the love of her child, or, sorry, like, the little younger sibling, Delilah, and, like, you know, the life that she has with Anji and Chip and Answer and Nago and just the Chip Kingdom. Like, what she lives her life for now are daily struggles. Like, just, I need to go to the store and pick up milk. I need to go see Delilah's, like, school recital. I need to make sure I cook dinner. These things, like, she still has little trifles and things like that, but still moves on and finds daily happiness, daily sorrow.
What an amazing character plus R Baiken is.
She's not held back by her previous pity at all, because, as she describes in Nago's arcade mode, she's discovered what the secret to living in life is regret. Having regret for what's happened, but using that regret to move on. And I think it's really, oh my fucking god, I got
I forgot I was that Baiken, fuck.
But, 100% I agree with that, though.
I always play with the normal colors for literally any character, so I got a little confused.
I think her theme in Strive is, like, the perfect encapsulation of her whole character arc.
I can speak for
because
hours about
it's
come
like
near my general vicinity. Oh, okay. Never mind, don't come near my general vicinity, never mind, don't do that.
I actually talked about this a bit on my Twitter, so let me actually bring this up so I remember what I'm talking about.
In the meantime, Ram, what is it that you like specifically about Baiken? I know that you roleplay as Baiken a lot, you draw a lot of art of Baiken, and you do voice acting for her, but what got you interested in her?
Honestly, I think that's really good.
Fuck.
I guess just also while Melly's still trying to look for the tweet to click in.
Alright, I got it.
Oh, okay.
But, no, you go first.
Seen so many? I think it's because Baiken is so unabashed in her rudeness too. Like, what you see is what you get. She does not hide any part of herself, and I think that with certain woman characters, when they do try to make them mean, well, first of all, they don't ever try to make women characters mean. They usually make them very demure, or, like, have a teasing meanness. No, Baiken is just a rude...
Baiken, she has, like, a unique intro.
We're all here for it. We're here for it.
She has a unique intro for a bunch of different characters in Plus R, and it carried over into XR with one of her taunts, where she just has a unique insult for every single character.
Yeah.
And they're so good. It's just, she just like, hell are you looking at, fuckface?
You ugly.
Fuck. But yeah, so I found the thread, and it's about her theme, sort of. but there's two lines I think that connect because they mean pretty much the same thing, but like it repeatedly says break off all vexations, and then also rokon shoujo, which refers to purification of the six senses and shedding all worldly desires. And I think the beginning of the song, when it like says that whole mantra, and then it ends it with rokon shoujo, sort of could refer to how she's become desensitized to killing, and like how she's sort of had to like shed her humanity in order to pursue the life of revenge. But then like towards the end where it starts like saying like you are not the exile, or like after the part where she
like it transforms from like I'm never over yesterday to like time will never like tomorrow never begins, and then it just gets to like just her crying like why won't anyone leave me alone in this? I just want to move forward and do my own thing, and it feels like the world is constantly impeding me and things like this. And she's just constantly trying to cleanse the senses. If I just, clearly if I'm thinking too much about myself, there's a problem there. I just need to keep moving. And she doesn't know how to stop herself at all.
And so it's like towards the end it sort of takes on the true meaning of it, which is just like actually like becoming whole as a person. And like just it's like a lifestyle pretty much of, and so now instead of becoming desensitized to killing and having to shed her humanity, she's sort of like letting go of her pain and her obsession with vengeance so that she can grow and help others to do the same. And then what was the other line? Also the mantra, the Japanese part of the song, it's I believe it's the mantra of light, and it's commonly used at funerals, which I just thought was interesting.
Really? I knew it was the mantra of light, but I had no idea what the mantra of light is. Is it just like they use it to cleanse at funerals?
It's a Buddhism thing. And I've always liked that about Baiken with her religion.
Yeah, no, I think it's really interesting that for a character that is so unabashed, so messy, and just upfront, that the number one thing that Baiken loves of all else, I mean, her character bio will tell you that she doesn't love anything, but she actually loves her tradition. She loves her, Japanese heritage, and she feels like she has no place in the world, so she relies on what she did know from when she was about 6 years old, and it's that, okay, I need to believe within the Buddha, I need to believe in a complete cleansing of the self, I need to believe in karma, I need to believe that bad things happen, but good things happen too, and an equality of the self and things like that. And she believes fully in cleansing of the self and doing what will make her happy and lead to a fulfilling life, and what that means for herself and for others. And it didn't always used to mean for others, but now she does it for others. Because like, oh my fucking god, she's like ninja-ing through me. What the hell is this?
Oh yeah, sorry. So Baiken, she has 5 different guard cancels in this game. One of them is a anti-air right here. That's the one that I used to end combos with. There's this one, which is just sort of your general all-purpose, good just sort of get off me tool. This one jumps behind and does a slash. And then the last one, or well, not the last one, but she has another one, does no damage, just runs right through you. And then the actual last one is her force break for guard cancel, and that's Baku, and it has several different follow-ups.
What's the input for that? Not the force break, but the guard cancel stuff.
It's like,
I believe it's quarter circle. It's kind of weird.
It's back and then down, back and then down, and then any of the buttons, and that's on block or after Suzerain, which is a half circle back with kick.
Oh, I did something there.
I don't know what this move is really used for. Oh,
whoops.
Swipsy.
I adore that Baiken doesn't wear a bra. Like, as someone attracted to women, I am so attracted to Baiken. Like,
I love Baiken's boobs, but in a way that's far more intellectual than anyone else.
That is so real. Okay, we gotta talk about the no Baiken, no bi crowd, where it's like,
she's gonna be in the game. First of all, it's like she's gonna be in the game.
She's gonna be in the game, calm down. But also, I hate that Baiken got kind of co-opted by fucking, I guess what the better word is, like, porn addicts, coomers, that shit.
I am so sick and tired of Baiken boob jokes. She has big boobs. Shut up! I'm gonna murder you!
Oh my god, dude.
I think we all like Baiken for two big reasons, and it's like, oh my god, do you have no sincerity in your heart? Do you ever read a book or look at words?
It's like,
Please, shut up. There are more jokes you can make about Baiken than she has big boobs. I'm gonna kill myself and you.
it's like before before she came to Strive and she just became more accessible as a character, which I'll talk about later. I had to defend myself for being a Baiken main for so long. It's like, no, I don't play her just because she has big tits. It's like, that's why I chose her in the first place. I chose Baiken and Soul as my mains because I think they're hot, but I kept playing them because I think they're fun, and Baiken is a cheater character for cheaters who love to cheat.
Every time you say it like that, it just makes me lose my mind a bit, because it's like, hey, I want to run my block string, I want to do some, casual oki, I just want to do this and
that.
you
don't.
Okay, I'll land my meaty. Oh, wait, she can act out of that. Oh, no, wait, she just counter-hit me and now I'm losing. Oh, God, wait, the game's over.
Yeah,
Great.
so she's I love Baiken because you have to...
Her gameplay
I love playing Baiken because...
I can describe it as no.
Yeah. But because the opponent has to change their playstyle to adapt around Baiken, just because that's how powerful just having free guard cancels is.
Yeah, I follow some +R players on Twitter. They fucking hate Baiken.
Yeah, she's like one of the best characters in the game, like top 3 or top 5, depending on who you ask.
Yeah.
But
her Zappa and Testament, if I recall.
Yeah,
correctly.
and then also Chip and Dizzy are really good, and Faust also, but.
Here, let's take this time to switch over to Strive. Alright, here we are in Strive now.
Strive moment. Okay.
But Strive has a really interesting... Strive Baiken is interesting because it kind of removed a lot of the identity that she had in +R and Exert as the defensive character.
In gameplay, specifically. Yeah.
It's gameplay specifically, by simplifying her down to her parry button only. But I am of the belief that this was a really good decision because Baiken has notoriously had a very small player base in the previous games where not many people played her. God damn, she's so fucking cool. I love her so much.
She's so freaking awesome,
so
man.
Awesome.
This intro rocks.
Oh, she likes her own eye.
Yeah.
Because is it because it's a mirror and they have swapped eyes?
Man, my eyes real pretty, ain't it?
Just to circle back to something we were actually talking about a few minutes ago, I think it really is very poignant that alongside her being like one of the overtly most macho, strong characters that you can find on the cast, that she's still very serious and determined that this isn't mutually exclusive with her femininity. I really think, and this is going to sound like super duper dumb, but hopefully everybody's kind of on the same wavelength. I honestly feel like there's something to be said for the thematic resonance of having her chest displayed like that. And then kind of as Ram mentioned a little bit ago, the fact that she's predominantly pink in color palette, you have these things that are very closely associated with traditional femininity. And, it's something that doesn't take away from her strength as a woman. She's still empowered, she's still vicious and ferocious, like she's still a beast, but she's a woman, and I think that that's something that we don't really get very often, we were just talking about how cool it is that her kind of lore overlaps so much with a character like Guts from Berserk, and I feel like a lot of times those sorts of revenge narratives where people are meant to overcome their own sort of trepidation about living as a person rather than a weapon, we see that kind of regaled exclusively to masculine aligned people. And I think it's really, really powerful that Daisuke would continue to present Baiken as feminine while giving her, I guess, what a lot of people would consider a traditionally masculine narrative, to say that, your life is your own, each person is an individual, and even someone like Baiken, who is very beholden to and I think fulfilled by tradition, doesn't really need to let that fully ensnare her. She's still about her own presentation in the way that she wants to live, and I think that's really, really cool.
Good points.
I I think the fact that she's able to wear femininity so strongly and brazenly is in itself a form of androgyny, where it's like, obviously a woman as well endowed as her would have emphasized that an aspect and been like, oh, I'm hot shit, and actually like been a seductress of some kind. But I think the fact that Baiken just wears it, it's just a part of her, like she is as much a woman as she is a warrior, is something I really like of her as like design, and I think it's something that immediately makes her eye-catching as like, this is a monster of a woman. Like, I don't know, I think she's such a peak for like feminine character design in Guilty Gear as a whole. Like, I think she's just so... Welcome back, everyone. We're after so many audio problems.
I have
we are back.
Rem's Audacity did a fucky wucky again.
My Audacity said, hey, you want to look at women or do you want to record audio? Pick one or die.
Yeah.
I love Baiken's stage in this game. Like, I feel like the lighting in this game is fucking awesome, but of course it's Strive,
I'm not sure if this is actually Baiken's stage.
What? I mean, it's like the colony, isn't it?
Well, yeah, but it was introduced with Baiken too, but I'm pretty sure at least I'm not sure if they changed this, but I remember.
No, her actual stage is the colony that she shares with Anji, the with the rocket Buddhas. That is her stage, but like every DLC character has a regular base game default stage.
Yeah.
Like I know Delilah's is the happy family.
Wow.
Yeah. But yeah, this one, I forget the name of it. I was gonna say Ogre Valley, but that's Xrd.
Lap of the Kami.
Right.
It is the same stage as the Xrd one, though, I think. It's just a different time of day.
Yeah. And just like a different area of the colony.
It's like, do you like autumn leaves over here? Hello. Look.
So while we're on the conversation of Baiken, I would really like to go into her relationship with Anji, and however that may be. First of all, I would like to ask you guys, how do you guys see her relationship with Anji?
Okay. Canonically speaking.
They
Canonically
care
speaking.
each other. They
Canonically speaking, they're good buddies. And canonically speaking,
they care each other so much.
They're so marriage core. I'm sorry.
See,
I like that one is pink and one is blue. That is so awesome.
Yeah.
Whoa.
There are two like sides of the same coin where like Anji's very in touch with his masculinity and he's not like afraid to show that, and then Baiken's kind of the same with her femininity and also just her androgyny.
Yeah.
Baiken's just naturally very androgynous.
Yeah,
I mean,
Dean mentioned this in the Anji podcast, I think.
The thing I brought up is that it feels like they are plays on the shonen tropes of what they should be, where you think of a ronin samurai, this and that, you would think, okay, that's a man. But then you would think, okay, exotic dancer that uses seductions to get what he wants and get info for the main protagonist. You don't think of guy, you think of a woman. And it also, all of this kind of feels very like Sasuke and Sakura-ish, where it's like the roles are flipped around, kind of. Where Baiken is Sasuke, end of statement.
Baiken is Sasuke, quote D.
But also, I think it's really interesting because, like, the terms geisha and samurai, like, those, like, are meant to refer specifically to, like, men and women. Shit, I got mixed up.
Women and men.
Geisha usually refers, like, specifically just to a woman, and, Which I think is also really interesting that they call Anji a geisha specifically because, like, there is a male equivalent, and, like, they actually came first in history.
So you're saying that Chip called Anji gay?
Yes.
While we're on the topic of Baiken's gender, I have a question. What do you think about the Baiken the Killer ending, where she abandons all of her gender and everything and just becomes a serial killer? After she kills Ino.
It is so important. Like, I see that line alone has immediately endeared her to so many LGBT people, where it's like, hey, Baiken, depending on how you look at her,
you can interpret her gender as so many fucking things.
She is as much of a trans man as she is a trans woman, as she is a non-binary person, as she is just a woman who is non-conforming. Like, I think that's such a beauty to her, like, that she can just be all of these things and more.
I wanted to say, it's such a great thing. She's fucking, what do you say? Her gender is malleable. I don't know.
Yeah.
She could
Her
be
gender
many
is
things.
putty.
Like many things about her
demigender or
identity,
something.
it's kind of all over the place.
Or you can interpret her as a demigirl, like
I
me
do
and
that.
Ramsey. Me
Yeah,
Yeah.
real.
kind
Yeah.
of.
I interpret her
So-
as a trans woman because she's literally me in real life.
So, question: would a demigirl mean that she is someone that is like?
She's like she's like
she applies
I'm
the
kind
role
of
of a woman. She applies the role of a woman when she wants to. Then.
Pretty
Yeah,
much. She's like
it's
I'm
like-
kind of woman.
It's like, it's like, yeah, I'm a girl, but I don't have to be a girl. It's like whatever.
Real.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I like that.
Oh,
I fucking love the parry. I love that she just flips
Kinda
you
like
around completely.
in
Yeah.
the same area, kind
I
of,
love-
with the
I love-
non-binary umbrella,
Yeah.
in a way. Yeah.
Yeah.
In Strive with Strive Baiken, I don't play Strive, but another thing I love about her parry is it does way more damage than it looks like it should.
Absolutely.
They
It is a pot buster.
They actually reduced the damage on it this last patch, and it makes me so sad because it used to be like the ultimate sex button for me.
Well, I think it's just because of universal damage nerfs in general. I know I felt the same when I saw what they did to Eno Megalomania, but
This just kind of stems from like my main problem with Baiken and Strive as a whole, which is just that now she's not like such a defensive character. It's like I feel like if you're not gonna give her like Azami or her guard cancels to do like a bunch of damage with, it's like and if you're just gonna give her a counter, it's like make the counter do a lot of damage. Come on, don't be shy. It's like 3 frames. Don't look that up. Don't correct me.
if I'm wrong, no, I'm not.
What's frame data?
She's so much more like significantly focused on offense than parry that like I feel like most people who are just getting introduced to Baiken forget that like her main gimmick is the parry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But just
she
'cause
kind of
it's
feels
like
very rushdowny without the
she's-
like emphasis on defense.
She's not a defensive character anymore. She is a rushdown character that has a counter, and I love characters that have counters. I play Jiren in Dragon Ball FighterZ. He's got fucking 2 of them. I fucking love that guy.
I see the
and
DNA,
like, so yeah, I love counters, but I also I feel like it just kind of takes away from the reason why I liked playing Baiken in the first place. So
Yeah.
I'm sure we've all heard of the Ship of Theseus Baiken, where it's that Baiken
Yeah.
changes so much with every single iteration of the game. How can you say that you like her as a whole? Which is something I
Because-
disagree with because
Yeah,
I think
100%.
she carries aspects of herself throughout, and I think she is a changing person and a changing character, and that like
Yeah.
I think I still, when I look at Baiken, I know who Baiken is. She is the gruff, rough and tumble woman that is coming into her own and overcoming
Funny
revenge.
Tatami lady.
And
Funny Tatami lady.
yeah.
and also I like. Oh yeah, continue.
sorry.
I lost my point.
So much of like Baiken's journey throughout Guilty Gear is just like taking this character that is like kind of a nothing character. Like she has one thing, she has one goal in life, and you add on more and more to her. Like in that you see that in her theme, right? Where like her theme starts off with this very basic like just Japanese guitar, and to like this really long, just blown out intro, and then like eventually it just erupts in like this anger, which is like synonymous with the anger that she has for like Batman and such, and her only reason to continue. And she said things like Rakan Sojo, which is a purification of the 6 senses or something like that, or 5 senses.
Yeah.
I'm dumb. And,
Well, it's
like,
6 because like including like the mind.
Yes, thank you. And like it's used in a way where it's like a war chant, right? Because like Rakan Sojo was also used in war as like a thing to say like, if I die in this battle, I want to die of a pure heart and mind. And I think that carries over to like how she operates, where like she wants to die, but like I don't know how to say it, like while playing.
She plays suicidally.
Yeah, she does not care what happens to her. She just wants to achieve something in her life, right? Like she doesn't want her life to just be nothing.
But also like again, what I was saying a lot earlier about like her apathy with her morality. She says like, not interested in Nirvana or the 6 realms, but keep this up, and when I go, I'll be sure to take you with me. It's like, dude.
She's so fucking cool. She's literally me.
I'm not low enough to hope for Nirvana. I'm fine with being a humble villain.
I think it's really a testament to how rooted she is as a character that even something that I think is designed to uplift her through all intents and purposes, like her belief in Buddhism and spiritualism that she carried with her from her Japanese heritage, she basically still weaponizes against herself and uses only as more fuel for her revenge. Because now, rather than being within that cycle of karma and dharma, she's like, oh no, I'm the unique exception of a human being that is beyond redemption in any facet. I only exist to be a weapon, and I am going to die pursuing this cause no matter what, because there is nothing beyond this for me. And I think if you know anything about the way
if that's what you call karma, then I must be a demon.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
Jay, you had when we talked prior to the podcast, you had a very big analysis of Baiken's theme and various other things. I'd really love it if you could go into some of those notes, because I really like them.
Oh, don't tell.
Exciting.
Yeah, no, I mean, most of it we kind of actually wound up hitting on organically just as the podcast has gone on. But I guess just a few things that we skipped over here and there I can circle back to with regards to her relationship with Anji. We kind of talked about that line where she's like, I don't need your sympathy, why won't anyone leave me alone? And sort of referencing what we've been saying about her single-minded pursuit of revenge. I feel like, Anji is uniquely positioned in her arc where, to accept his help is to incite doubt and to implicitly acknowledge that the time that she's spent pursuing this revenge has been sort of self-destructive and a waste. And moreover, I think just by the virtue of her character, it's a little patronizing to have a man walk into your life not fully understanding. Not that Anji doesn't, obviously, because he's a victim of the same exact circumstances, but, to Baiken not fully understanding her circumstances and then attempting to provide her with the cure for what ails her. It's not the correct way to go about reconciling that. And then I think we see this manifest a little bit more with the line that's following that with, if I had a comrade, I wonder what I would tell them. Because, we know that Baiken and Anji are really close, and yet she still doesn't regard him exactly as a comrade. Because
that part of the song's about Delilah.
Exactly, yes.
It's about Delilah. It's about Delilah.
That's something really important to bring up. I see so many misconceptions about the song,
it's not about
specifically
Anji,
from men on YouTube and where it's like, I will be upfront about it, like, that are just saying, oh yeah, in this song, that Baiken's theme, she is talking about her love for Anji and how Anji saved her, and I think that is such an idea thing.
It's how she met Delilah and grew as a person
look, as
through Delilah.
the number one autistic fan of shipping Anji and Baiken, it's not canon! Stop trying to gaslight yourselves into thinking it's canon, it's not!
I agree completely, like, I think Anji and Baiken are, like, perfect for each other, but I also do like Baiken as a lesbian, and I like Anji as a gay man, too.
Don't people also do the same thing with Anji's theme, too, Rock Parade, and think it's about Baiken, and then all this spaghetti noodle pasta shit happens, and you're like, I don't think that's what that really means, but okay, dude.
Well, honestly, not to be controversial there, I do think Anji's theme is about Baiken.
I'm gonna be so honest. I don't know how else to interpret it.
His goals in the entire series is just to stop Baiken from hurting herself. Like, he just doesn't want her to get killed.
I think it's really cool too that Anji's entire character arc is centered around Baiken, but Baiken's arc has nothing to do with Anji. Anji is just a spectator within it. Yeah,
in Baiken's arc, it's like Anji's just kind of the guy she tells to fuck off a bunch of times.
And in it too, if I jump back a bit to the metaphor, to the simile I brought up earlier, the comparison, and it's that Baiken. So Anji is the shonen wife to Baiken, Anji does not matter, because this is Baiken's entire story, and Anji is supplemental to it. And I think it's really brave and also super cool of Daisuke to write the story like that, where it's hey, Baiken is the one you're supposed to be focusing on, not Anji. Look at her.
Although that's cool. Not to say that Anji's story isn't important, because it is. Yes. It's just also I love how they both go about finding that man, because Anji's goal was also to find that man or like
Not
learn
to kill
about
him, though,
him.
just to like find answers. Just like
Yeah,
"Hey,
just
what'd
to
you do all
know."
that, Mr.
Yeah.
Gay white twink cat boy man.
but like so like Anji, he wants to just know, he wants to learn, he wants to just find an answer
He has a
for
knowledge
like
kink.
this history. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh boy.
But like Baiken, like she's just like so full of sorrow and rage and just wants nothing more than to see that man die
Just generally
by her
not
hands.
alive.
And like what
Also,
kind of changes her, right, is the introduction of Delilah. Like being able to see from a third person point of view that exact same rage that she feels for that man.
Yeah.
Like she sees someone, she sees herself entirely in Delilah because they're in this exact same situation. Delilah was brought into this world. Immediately, the only person that she knew is gone and dead, and she has one person to blame for all of it, and she has no other objective in life. And I like that relationship between Baiken and Delilah is why they like got so close. And Baiken saw herself so much in Delilah that she saw that like this journey of like revenge is fruitless. Like there's no good path at the end of it.
Yeah, I think it's so incredible that it wasn't Anji that fixed her, it was Baiken seeing herself, finally seeing what other people were seeing in her all this time.
And she was like, hey,
Whereas-
wait a minute.
Do I really want to put I think it's the question of like, would I really want to put myself through this again? Could I really stand to watch someone that is just me go through the same pain I went through and not have an answer for 15 to 20 years? Just the same thing. Like, I think what really got me too is that Baiken says, hey, I was living on the streets, homeless, and I was eating garbage. I had no food, no home, and no one to look after me. And if I died, no one would have been there to care for me. And Delilah just says, hey,
I don't fucking
there's no
care.
one left for me anywhere.
I don't
care.
Yeah.
It's
And
so
it must hurt so much for Baiken to see that her own adamance is thrown right back at her. Like, 'cause that's exactly the same probably excuses she gave Anji when she was a kid, when she's an adult, how she's now. And there's just, I think, Baiken having the strength to shapen up and change is
And it's
beautiful.
that like Delilah doesn't like let go because like Baiken like tells her to stop. It's because Baiken like shows her love.
Yeah.
Baiken shows
Now
her that like
now she has a little emo goth 12-year-old who has autism for her daughter.
Yeah. But Baiken
Or little
shows
sister.
Delilah sort of like what there could be to life because Baiken realizes it at around the same time that there's so much more.
Yeah.
I always loved that. I always liked that. Like Baiken always had like that weird sort of mentality about it where it's like, well, I mean, Anji's here, but I've already spent so long tracking down that man. It's sort of like sunken cost fallacy, and like, what else am I gonna do with my time?
Yeah.
And I like that choice of Daisuke's to make her arc resolve itself that way because it still affords autonomy to all the major players in it. It's not that, Anji just waltzed into her life and solved all of her problems. She had the recognition on her own. She maintained that autonomy, but Anji, as someone who cared about her, still enabled her towards that. Like, he still helped it happen, but it was on her ultimately to be the person to be like, oh my god, wait.
Gecko squirrel.
Like,
this is what
like
I'm
Anji was
Definitely
the
watching
person.
the podcast.
Anji was the person who like made the phone call to her and XR, but it was like her choice to like do literally everything else.
Exactly. Like, he just greased the wheels a little bit. She made the decision.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I like that Baiken's story took such a long time to resolve.
Yes.
Because it shows that like
Yeah, no, I
sometimes
think
healing
it's
takes
so-
forever.
Healing does take forever, and I think it's so cool on a meta level and an out of meta level that Baiken was the exact same character for 20 years with no changes to her story except she goes here, she's caught up in bullshit, but she doesn't care because she's on revenge. Doesn't matter. Every circumstance that's happening, it doesn't matter if she's doing this for revenge. She slightly changes in Exode where she's then told to care for the colony by Anji, but it doesn't really affect her as much as like something that she just does. And it isn't until Strive where it's like people want changes for the character. Every character is moving on. How do we conclude this character? We just give her someone, we make her a mother, we make her a sister, we give her someone to mentor, and I think that's such a unique angle for the character who, for years, was just seen as like a sex object to gamers and just a cool warrior otherwise. Like, forcing her to change, I think, is such an incredible thing, and it made me re-examine everything that came before, too, is like, oh, she was suffering this whole time. It wasn't just that she's a cool ronin character action figure lady. No, like, this was, like, someone actually going through some serious problems, some serious PTSD, and she could not cope with it.
And it's like that with a lot of
Also, back from this break, hi.
But something that
you can go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, something that I really like about her character is that she never even got a good look at Batman. Like, she just got a glimpse of him as when she was a child, and like, even then, it's like he looks completely fucking different. Like both Asuka and Happy Chaos look completely different from the person that she saw as a kid. Like, that is if the intro to Guilty Gear X is to be taken as canon.
Jay, can you say the note you had on this, because I thought it was so interesting.
I'm sorry. What about?
Targets of revenge and not knowing who that man was.
Let's see if I can find it.
It's the top of your notes. How do I know your notes better than you?
Oh my god!
I guess I internally categorized them in a different way than you did, I guess. But
hello, lag.
Hello.
I don't know.
I just got exploded with a gun in the face.
I don't know which one you're exactly talking about.
Fucking hate when
How in Revenge, in Guilty Gear, people don't know the targets of their revenge.
Oh, yeah, I don't think I have that written in my notes formally, but it was something that we spoke about a lot leading up to the podcast, and I think that we kind of mentioned organically as we were talking just now, but Daisuke, if you know anything about the way that he repeatedly likes to write characters, is that when he has them with revenge plots, they're frequently denied the outcome of their revenge, because I think he's trying to make a point that even through gaining that confrontation with the person that they're searching after, the happiness that would be granted to them through that, or the relief, is illusory. It's not about that they're fully externalizing this journey of the self that should be entirely internal. He's forcing them to instead ask the question, why am I really pursuing this? Is this really just to mask my trauma and to give myself some autonomy beyond that? Or, is it somehow that murdering this one person will improve my life by leaps and bounds? But it's very clear Daisuke has a definite stance on that, and that it's not about that. It's about you reflecting on yourself, because the revenge is irrelevant. It's about how you are feeling.
That reminds me of a point I was gonna make. So, like, for me, one of my favorite aspects of Guilty Gear's story, and like just the game in general, from like a lore perspective, for Strive, is that like Strive likes to show a lot of how like all these characters deal with their different trauma in both healthy and unhealthy ways. Baiken, for example, being a healthy way, she has her found family and such, and she lives a prosperous life. Someone like Leo being a somewhat unhealthy way, where they just sort of bottle it all up, all their like survivor's guilt and such, and then they hide it behind this like macho personality. And I always really liked how Baiken, specifically, her story ended, because it has such a nice ending where she gets to just be normal for once. She gets to feel what it's like to live a life instead of just being this Viator that's just constantly searching for a man who she doesn't even know.
Yeah, like Daisuke, the way that he likes to portray these like really human struggles is that like, he won't let you externalize something or deprive yourself of your humanity and put it onto something else to decide. I think we saw this manifest really well with Aerials, where it's like you cannot abdicate the reason for your own existence to some arbitrary thing. It has to be something you decide for yourself, purely self-motivated. There shouldn't be an obligation externally driving you towards it. And I think that's really cool, very existential. But it looks like...
Oh, you and your existentialism.
I imagine people probably have a lot more stuff to say.
Actually, speaking of Baiken's playstyle, if we're still doing the podcast.
Yes, we are.
Okay, cool. Speaking of Baiken's playstyle, I like how her playstyle, at least in the earlier games, is like such an unorthodox playstyle for a fighting game. We don't really see a lot of defensive parry characters in fighting games, I don't think. And this is speaking from someone who doesn't like playing those characters. I'm a gorilla monkey mode rushdown player. I don't main Baiken. I just think she's cool.
Even like Anji and Strive, I wouldn't say was like a defensive character, because like like Anji in the old games, even like he's not a defensive character. He just has
he's just
like auto guard.
He's just got good mix-ups.
Yeah, and maybe his mix-ups are a little bit dumb if you don't know what they are, but but like Baiken, it's like she capitalizes off of blocking, which is not something that like anyone else does.
Which, by the way, I would like to mention they totally stole that from Darkstalkers.
Did they?
Well,
what character in Darkstalkers?
All of them from Darkstalkers. They all have dark cancers.
I hope you know that
actually,
Darkstalkers was one of the pathways of fighting games evolving, so you need to stop.
Yeah.
So I guess everyone has
Darkstalkers
those, so.
basically pioneered like anime air dashers, yeah.
Because Lord Raptor was the first character to have an air dash.
I love
in
Lord
a fighting
Raptor
game.
so much, but this is a Baiken podcast.
Lord Raptor.
Silly Australian rock star man.
Would they be friends?
No.
No.
What the fuck? You can parry that!
Yeah, so it basically just, as long as your hurt box is close enough to me, it will work, and I do believe that she has a hurt box on that entire sword.
I learned quite a bit of Baiken stuff, because at my local, I actually have the number 4 Baiken of all time. Stingray's 1100, 110. They're not a huge, he's not a huge person, but yeah, I think it's really cool that, like, he's always topping every one of our tournaments, and then I go onto, like, the replay channel, and there he is, and he's
That's
like, doing
so cool.
Baiken shit.
Love that.
The other top Baiken players, the JoJo and, LK, Lord Knight, and AJ, I believe, and who else is there?
Momochi.
Baiken doesn't win any tournaments, but I really wish she did.
She's very not
Are you gonna keep JSing?
Well, if you're gonna keep jumping into it, yeah.
I'm not even jumping into it.
I'm just fishing, you know?
I cannot
They need to give
watch this game.
Baiken Fishing. Baiken Fishing.
Baiken Fish. Baiken Fishing! Just like my stupid parody Twitter account!
Yeah, exactly like that. I love Baiken. How have we not brought up Baiken Fishing yet?
Baiken Fishing! Guys, Baiken totally.
Link to Baiken Fishing in the chat.
Yeah.
Oh, right. I never properly advertised the Baiken clan tag. I never did that because I'm
if you
stupid.
fan art of Baiken, use hashtag Baiken Clan, or we'll find out where you live, and Tatami Gaishi spam you into oblivion.
We will.
We will. Don't mess with us. I don't care.
While
I don't care how many tatami mats it will cost. I'm gonna steal my mom's credit card.
We got that. We got that infinite magic pocket loop.
We got that Anji money.
Yeah, we got Anji money, bro.
Yeah, we got Anji money. We also have
Delilah is not going to college. I mean, not like she needed it, but still.
Yeah, there's no point in that. It's just like for credentials at that point.
Do you ever think that, like, you know, Delilah gets grounded and she's like, "Bad shit, you're grounded. Get on the fridge." You know, like.
I hate this fucking family. But she loves this family. And I think it's so important that she has Delilah's love, like, at all. I don't think Baiken has ever felt what love means before she met Delilah. And having someone that, like, I think one of my favorite scenes in all of Strive is Baiken, and as she's walking away to go do her due justice and kill Happy Chaos, she's walking and Delilah just follows her and she's like, "I know you're fucking following me, bitch."
It's like, one more step and I kill you.
She does all these empty threats to Delilah, but Delilah just keeps following her, and Delilah is mirroring her every step because, like, she doesn't know any better. Like, fuck, man, I think it's so cool.
Also,
I really like Baiken.
the moment where it's like Baiken's like yelling at her and like raises her fist and like notices that Delilah also raised her fist, like to mirror her, and it's like she's like, "Dude, what the?" It's like, no, this is wrong.
People will be like, Delilah's not the mirror of the world when this literally exists.
Yeah. I love when she went Minecraft creative mode, by the way.
also like says in the game, or like in the story, just like Anji is just like, well, no, not sorry, I'm stuttering, but Baiken's like, oh, looks like I finally found my mirror, and it's like that's Delilah, like she says that Delilah is the mirror, but also then, so if Delilah's the mirror of Baiken, and then Baiken is the mirror of the world, it's like, or like she will be the mirror of the world, pretty much is what the song is saying.
And I think by mirror of the world, I didn't even talk about what the title means. I think it's that Baiken has recognized that the world has become a peaceful place, that there isn't a need for revenge anymore, and that she doesn't need revenge anymore for herself. So she wants to reflect the kind world that she's seen, and she wants to be that mirror for Delilah and show, hey, you don't need to have revenge. You don't have to do all these dangerous things and think these dangerous thoughts. I'll show you what it means to live and be happy. I will mirror what a kind and wonderful world this is by being that for you.
Yeah.
And like, oh my god, that's so cool.
Yeah.
And what you were saying about like the world becoming a more peaceful place, like the inciting incident of Strive is literally a nuclear disarmament conference. Or like just like it's just not nuclear, but like just full.
Yeah, quite literally, the world has no more weapons that can, get in the way of peace. Because Happy Chaos, of course, takes them all. But the world
that also happens. Together. But like the goal of G4 was just to just world peace.
World unification and peace.
And then like on Asuka, he's like, oh, here's my world peace experiment.
It was really incongruous for Baiken to hear the terrorist situation and then immediately think, I gotta kill him. Especially when these were all... fuck, I can't
She's
speak.
like, oh, fuck,
it's
him.
That were going on.
Oh, I gotta go.
Alright.
Like, I think her reflecting the peace, and especially reflecting the Buddhist values that she now fully understands, like, hey, this is how I achieve eternal harmony. And then reflecting that with Delilah, and now I guess giving her dinners where she eats donuts.
Yes, I love that so much.
And I think too, I didn't even talk about this aspect, and I'm definitely going to be talking about it next episode, in the Bedman episode. By being a bigger sister and being this guiding figure, but Baiken is directly meant to reflect what Bedman was to Delilah, or Romeo, I mean. By being a guardian figure that will protect her at every step of the way, but being nurturing about it. Not destroying the world for her, but creating a world, nurturing a world for her. That was what Delilah actually needed. Not, like, someone that will destroy everything and kill everyone just so one person can be happy. Like, Baiken is there to represent community, harmony, and society. Which I think is really sweet.
Yeah, I really like that too as a form of like radical motherhood almost, to coincide with like, Soul's expression of fatherhood kind of really pushing him towards actualization. And further, I just wanted to say again, like how I've been remarking on the importance of femininity in Baiken's arc, I really appreciate that it's her relationship to another woman that helps her achieve that state of peace. It's not a man coming in and telling her how to live her life. It's like her as a woman finding another woman. Like, oh, okay, now we can work through this together. Someone who properly understands what it is that I'm going through in the same way that I can understand that. I just thought Daisuke is cool for that.
Yeah.
He was super cool for that.
Daisuke rocks.
A super small thing I wanted to bring up is her inclusion in Sam's show, and the fact that I think she got into Sam's show before she got into Xrd, if I remember correctly.
No, it was before Strive, but
before Strive, sorry.
Yeah.
But I remember that a prevailing thing that was in her story mode and that was in the comments of her YouTube videos and that I saw as a sentiment everywhere is that Baiken, when surrounded by all those other samurai, she finally looked happy. She was finally smiling and not scowling for the first time. Like, that was what it meant. Like, her developing this hobby and living in community, that was what she needed. And I think that progression was slightly conveyed further into Strive, where she then realizes the importance of community. She literally grabbed onto a big party bus of people to save a version of herself, Delilah.
Yeah.
And all with a team of people rather than just doing everything recklessly on her own.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's just really cool.
The moment, I talked about it on my private Twitter, but the moment where, like, she just walks to, like, over to Delilah, like, through that, like, big force field, and they're like, no, stop, Baiken, that level of, like, information density will destroy you, and she's like, oh yeah, I didn't think of that. And then she just walks through it anyways, her eye patch explodes, and then she just hugs Delilah.
This is really cool on a design aspect too,
Revenge is
because
gay.
her eye patch says correct mistakes, and the fact that broke off during the information density or whatever, it means that she's no longer hyper vigilant on correcting her mistakes. She's now focused on just moving forward. Yeah. It's like, obviously she still holds regret, but it's not the regret to change the past, it's the regret to change the future, to move on. And that's exactly what she shows Delilah right after this, with that very sweet, warm hug that, like, makes me cry whenever I watch it.
Yeah.
Also, something that I think is important about it is that, when she has her eye patch off, it's like the first time, you know, like, since XR that we get to see, like, her entire face. Because, like, it gets you a better look at who she is and, like, her expression.
Yeah.
And
it's so nice. It's like she cleanses herself, like, of all of it.
Yeah.
And I think that's the first genuine smile she's ever had too when she sees Delilah.
Yeah, and, like, she's like smiled before, but it was always more of, like, just like a, you know, kind of just like a...
Yeah, nothing personnel, like, kid.
Yeah, just sort of like more of, like, self-confidence and, like, just...
Yeah,
like,
this one's like
you
a
don't stand a
genuine
chance
happy
against
smile.
me. Yeah, it's a heartwarming moment. It's so beautiful. I love Baiken. Her boobs are awesome, and she's the coolest person ever.
So true, breasty, I mean bestie.
Unrelated to anything, I've been seeing a lot of Baiken and Milia recently, which is an interesting pairing, but I totally get it. Like, they have, like, shared trauma and stuff. That's kind of cool.
Speaking of which, I have a GIF I want to show you all. Please put this on the podcast.
I'm actually gonna stop playing because I need to find their win quotes against each other.
Where is it?
Okay.
Where's the GIF I'm looking for?
Beat you up quickly.
Where's the GIF I'm looking for?
You do that.
There it is. Look at this GIF.
Also, I think it's an actual crime that Baiken and Ino haven't met canonically, because those are the two baddest bitches I've seen in my entire life.
Yes.
And, like,
but so in Guilty Gear X, Milia's win. Fuck off. I hate Reddit. Sorry. Milia's win quote against Baiken. Milia's win quote against Baiken is, "You're too emotional. Unless you keep your composure, you'll never keep up to me. You'll never keep. Fuck. You're too emotional. Unless you keep your composure, you'll never catch up to me." And then Baiken's win quote against Milia is, "Stop acting all cool and calm. If you really want to defeat me, try getting a little desperate." So it's like
try getting a little desperate. Oh my god.
It's like they mirror each other so perfectly. And then also it's like that's kind of Yuri of you to say, Baiken.
Oh, whoa.
That's kind of Yuri of you to say.
A little fruity.
Baiken could use a little Yuri.
There's something like
also, I ship Ino and Baiken because there's two different endings in Accent Core where Baiken brutally stabs Ino to death, and I think that's beautiful.
I think
that's not Baiken.
I think that's true, Yuri.
The one about being on a leash.
Oh my god. Oh my
was it
god.
Like you're a mad woman, you need to be put on a leash, or was it something like that?
You're like a rabid dog.
Yeah. And I think did Baiken say that to Ino?
Baiken says it to Ino.
Yeah, Baiken says that to Ino.
Yeah.
And then Ino responds.
Something that's interesting too, and that never gets talked about ever, but Daisuke seems to believe it, and no one else does, that, like, the Baiken and Sin are friends now, and that they have apparently always been. That came out of nowhere, but, like, Sin has, like, quotes with Baiken where it's like, "Hey, do you see what I learned now?" Or Baiken's like, "Hey, did you learn something?" And he's like, I don't know anything about kids or anything, but I'm learning everything from you cool woman."
It's like just like that
buddies,
group from another story. It's like Baiken's just friends with all of those people from the extra story.
May makes sense because I think they met during Xrd.
Also, they're both Japanese.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
Sin, even knowing Sin just comes out of nowhere.
Well,
especially too because Baiken had a predetermined distaste for anything gear to the extent that she was going to kill Dizzy up front. She would kill Soul if she ever found
she used to be
gear that would
racist.
destroy her home.
Like her like when I was talking about the unique insults, her unique insult for Soul is just like monster, and then her unique insult for Sin is little monster.
Yeah, she used to be racist.
Little monster.
Like, it isn't
Hell,
racist
you looking
anymore,
at you
just
little
try it.
monster.
Well, I think it's because, too, like, as her characters progressed, it became less of a need of, I need to kill gears, because I think she just realized, like, okay, this gear's fine, whatever, but, okay, it's that man I really gotta kill. She just keeps, like, moving the goalpost a little further, without even realizing it.
Yeah.
And that, I mean, that's kind of just how, like, it works.
Ah!
Yeah, maladaptive coping mechanisms.
Eat you!
Don't.
On the positive end, though, just to circle back a little bit
I
to
guess
her
he wants to be
relationship
eaten.
with Delilah, I really do appreciate how that's made manifest towards the end of her song, too. Obviously with the Mirror of the World part that we were talking about, but the way that the part of the chorus shifts from being I'm the time exile to I'm not the time exile, you know, formerly being this woman entirely removed from the world because she's permanently trapped in the past, so she can focus on avenging the world, but now, you know, Delilah's delivered her from that. She can live, she doesn't have to be removed, and she's telling Delilah that she doesn't have to either.
Exactly, because it doesn't just say, like, I am not the exile, but, like, the chorus also says you are not the exile.
Yeah, that she follows it up with that, I think, is really excellent. Very, very powerful and cool stuff.
I think a song that was so focused on her and her own suffering and what her duty is and what she must do, to suddenly have the last chorus be all about you, she's talking to someone else, like, I think it's just that, like, hey, she just wants to transfer all this down to Delilah, like, the one she cares about most, like, that's so cool.
You know, she's trying to be a living lesson for...
This Tatami will stop it!
This Tatami will stop.
Mind.
Surely it will not go through the Tatami, but yeah, she's trying to be that living mirror and lesson for Delilah to say that, like, you know, this isn't your way. Not only is it no longer Baiken's way, but it's not hers either. And I think, you know, speaking a little bit to the listener here as well, that we get hung up so often on these shifting goalposts of things in our past that, like, torment us into the future and prevent us from living in the modern world. But you don't have to do that. It's self-imposed. That's why it is exile. You know, it's coming from artifice, but it's something that you can also just as easily remove yourself from and choose to continue living in the present as a happy and fulfilled person. So that's awesome. Thanks, Mr. Ishiwatari. For your fun game.
Thank you.
Next game, please put in Leo Paldon.
Yes!
Please add justice. Please add justice. Season 6, please add justice.
Please add Cliff.
Please add justice. I'm so sorry that your wife is forever dead.
It doesn't need to be canon. It doesn't need to be a canon appearance. Please. Nightmare Justice, maybe? Like Nightmare Geese in, like, the KOF games where he's canonically dead? Just like the
Isn't
horrors?
Rugal dead, but he's back in the new one?
Yeah, well...
I don't fucking know.
You know. He started a pizza place.
Can you add my mom to the game?
This podcast
Pizzeria
with
Del Rugo
KOF also. I listened to the Axel podcast, like, last night. That one also looped to the KOF. What the fuck?
Hey, it's
I want to play some KOF!
I don't have KOF.
KOF?
Oh, wait, I have Fight Cade. I have KOF.
Wow. I wish.
I think it's because KOF is everything. I do not even play KOF except 2002 with Jay, but I don't know.
Speaking
There's
of KOF,
something so funny about Terry Bogard and his silly life.
Speaking of KOF, the internal, like, names for Soul's moves in Guilty Gear 1, so Gunflame is called Power Wave.
Oh, wow.
And
oh my god, wait!
Volcanic Viper is called Shoryuken.
It's really funny too because the lore of Guilty Gear Missing Link, its creation is that it was just, hey, Ishiwatari being like, I want to make Street Fighter but cool because Street Fighter is awesome, I play it all the time, but it's not cool. So to hear that he, like, internally thought, oh no, KOF is cool, I want to make it like, like this.
And his instant kill is, I think, called Ichigeki, which is just like the name of, like, the strongest move in Art of Fighting. I don't play Art of Fighting.
Oh no, don't worry about it.
If
The 5 Art of Fighting players
corrects me, please do it. Well, no,
What the fuck
please,
is Art of
please
Fighting?
correct me if I'm wrong.
It's okay. I don't think any Art of Fighting players are listening to this anyways.
No, wait, now I'm
please
with
listen to
Melly
our
on this.
podcast, please.
Art of Fighting guys, if you're in the comments, let us know.
Seriously, I'm serious about that.
Hey, wait, wasn't this a podcast about Baiken?
Yeah.
I fucking
Art of Baiken guys in the...
Art of Baiken.
But yeah, I think we're
But-
gonna start moving into the conclusion parts of this episode. So, if there's any like last conversations that you want to talk about with Baiken, let's ride it out now.
I've seen someone say that rock-on shoujo could also mean rock-on girl as well, so that's a little silly.
Oh yeah,
rock
yeah.
on shoujo.
I
I
love
think
that.
that's a really cool part. Like, hey, you girl, rock on.
Go,
And
girl, yeah,
honestly,
slay.
I really like that in that strive that she has like a biker jacket too. It really gives off that rock era
and it's,
like
the
feeling.
skull
Baiken.
on
Well,
it is I think it's a reference to Misfits.
It looks like their
Yes.
logo a bit.
Very,
And it's like a
very cool.
delinquent student jacket.
I love
Yeah.
I love Sukuban.
Oh wait. Actually, sorry. This is a moment for me to talk about myself. But so in my redesign of Baiken, I actually changed the jacket to be an actual like leather biker jacket because I thought it fit, and I gave her a motorcycle.
I love Melly's
And,
redesign so much. It's so fucking cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Your Baiken redesign is really nice. I'll put it up on screen right now.
It's one of my favorites. It's one of my favorites I've ever
She's
done.
so
They're all-
fucking Judas Priest Motorhead.
Thank you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. But
That's what her music
You were saying,
taste
Melly?
is in my headcanon too. I set my topster that I made for Baiken in the chat, right?
yeah.
Yeah, you did. The list of bands and shit.
Yeah, it is definitely not me projecting. What do you mean? What do you mean? What? Okay, it isn't though.
I'll throw that
It
in the
isn't
video,
though.
too.
It isn't though because my like niche within metal is more war metal and death grind. I'm gonna pretend y'all know what I'm talking about. Whereas I made
I do.
Baiken more like speed metal, thrash metal, a
Yeah.
little bit of like early extreme metal, like death thrash. Again, I'm gonna pretend y'all know what I'm talking about. Also a little bit of punk.
I do.
Just a sprinkle.
Weezer, yeah.
No Weezer! No Weezer!
Okay,
Baiken
but
would hate
is
Weezer.
Sin a Weezer guy or is Kai a Weezer guy?
Sin is
Sin
definitely a Weezer guy in my
I like to
Weezer.
believe none of the Guilty Gear characters are Weezer guys.
I don't think they know what
Yeah,
Well,
actually,
Weezer,
yeah,
what
'cause
Weezer would be.
Weezer's like
'cause,
kind of
you
too
know.
much of sad loser music for Sin to like it, I feel.
Sin,
Yeah,
like,
honestly, all of Sin's theme are just
Okay.
Sonic themes anyway, so
Sin
obviously
just-
Sin has to listen to butt rock.
Sin just
I'll
listens to
say
Sonic
this.
music, not even like actual bands.
Yeah.
If you want like a genuine opinion on who in Guilty Gear listens to Weezer, May absolutely cries to Pinkerton. That's all I have to say on the matter.
Oh my
May's
god.
an incel?
Pinkerton!
May's an incel?
That was what you got.
I mean,
Which is crazy, because she almost certainly just sings, like, she does, like, the fucking TikTok sea shanty stuff instead.
I like to believe her playlist is literally just Ocean Man by Ween over and over again. Sorry, go on, Ram.
Her May Strive theme is just a Splatoon Amy Rose song.
Yes.
Real.
Yes.
She's got, like, the whole anime OP stuff going on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like slice of life anime.
Ram, do you have any other points to bring up? That's okay. We can always find more of your thoughts on your Twitter, which will be in the description. Never mind, your Twitter will not be in the description. Your Twitter will be in the description.
Like, wow, I cannot imagine wearing a kimono in the winter. Wow. Yeah.
I need to get the Baiken Guilty Gear 1 trading cards.
I remember I used to
'cause
have a
all
pair
the
of bell
Justice
bottoms
ones,
and it
I
rained
love
and like
them
now
so
it's all
the
white.
art is
and
wonderful.
No!
But
Ooh.
the Baiken ones are great too, and although they did draw her boobs really small comparatively to how they are in the game on her main character art, which I think is funny because people just kind of take that to be how she looks in the game. It's not. Her tits
Yeah.
are bigger than they are in XX.
Guilty Gear strives specifically, Kentaro Asano really likes emphasizing gender differences in art. Specifically, every man has
I don't
the
watch
same,
any of those videos
muscle
at all.
build,
Yay!
and every woman is either boobs or ass. But I think it really works for Baiken, and it works for a couple other characters too. But for some, it just looks a little silly on. Like,
yeah. I will say.
Chip.
I wanted to say, I like how Baiken is a woman with big boobs, but they don't like, at least in the game, ignoring Coomers on Twitter, they don't make jokes about it. There aren't really boob shots or anything like that. She just has big boobs and just exists.
And that's kind of one of my problems with XR'd is that I hate XR'd sense of humor because so much of it is holy shit, sexy lady. Or like
the only
just
thing
like kind of flanderizing the characters a little bit. At least in like win quotes and stuff like that.
Yeah. The only thing that like Baiken actually really has with that is just her 2D animation.
Well, also just like win quotes against her, like Jacko's like, "Hey man, cover up. It's too distracting." Jacko bisexual. Yeah. She's like, you should wear bell bottoms like me.
Bell bottoms. Bell bottoms. I knew that Kenju was coming. I could feel it.
Would it be wrong to say that
if a Baiken is
I know I went cough gecko squirrel a lot when we were talking about the Anji Baiken stuff. I don't hate the guy. I just disagree with that one specific interpretation of that one specific song. I otherwise like his videos. I just wanted to mention that.
Oh, that's okay. I hate the guy. No, he's a nice guy, and he genuinely has a lot of soul with what he does. I just do not agree with any of his analyses ever.
I mean, to be fair, his videos are definitely more focused on like actual gameplay as opposed to lore. So you know.
Yeah.
You know.
No, I don't blame that at all. Like, it's clearly he has his audience, and he likes talking about what he does, and I would never like scorn him for that. It is just not what I look for in YouTube
strongest
videos at all.
scorn.
Yeah.
And that's just the way it is. I am a human being with likes and dislikes as any other, I think. So
yeah.
I'm trying to think. If there's any other aspects we haven't brought up?
Armpits. Sorry.
No.
No.
She is pitting around a little bit.
A little bit, barely.
Save that for the Testament episode.
Oh, but wait, yeah, the Testament episode will probably happen.
The Kai episode.
Ikagura, I know maybe it's not, I don't know if you still do it, but I know for a long time it was a huge inspiration to me. I really, really love all the times you upload combos onto your Twitter, and you just be like, oh yeah, I was just laughing this out, and I was just listening to music and doing this, and I was just doing this and that, and I worked out this kind of safe jump thing. I just think that shit's so fucking cool. Like, I respect your dedication to Baiken.
I miss those days so much, and like, they're the main thing that's getting me back into this game is like just going into that lab and just doing my crazy ass bullshit.
Yes.
And that's why I've been
Can we
picking up
put that
Sin
one
lately.
video of me doing a XR Baiken combo with Limp Bizkit over
controller
it?
noises from D.
Oh, fuck, I didn't realize it was audible. I'm fucking slamming my heavy slash button.
That's okay, because they're probably going to be audible on my end too.
It did?
Well, I mean, thankfully we're... Yeah. Thankfully we're wrapping up now, so if you wanted to restart, I don't know if anybody else had more closing remarks.
Sin, just say get roasted.
Yes.
I love him so much.
I forgot some of them speak in Zoomer.
They made him so Zoomer-pilled in this, it's kinda awesome.
Doesn't Axel say boomer?
I have no idea, but I hope he does.
I remember, I think in one of his lines he says boomer.
Well, I would agree with that.
Absolutely.
I would agree
Every
with that.
woman I have met has been in love with Baiken, so I think it says
in a
something.
far more intellectual way than any man could ever be.
This is true.
I think it is so incredible that there is a character within Guilty Gear whose whole thing is being, like, sexy, like, you know, and Milia, I suppose, and just things like that, but the character everyone always goes to for shit like this are, like, Baiken, fucking ABBA, fucking, like, that's the, or most popular I see, at least.
I think the ABBA might just be from my
experience.
end. I think it's just you follow me and maybe Sinful Rat also, and that's why you see so much ABBA.
Yeah.
Sinful Rat does have a lot of wonderful ABBAs.
Yeah.
Sinful Rat drew the most epicest justice ever.
But yeah, I guess that wraps it up for Talk to Me About, for Baiken. Thank you all so much for joining me and for joining, Baiken, I suppose.
Yeah.
She is one of my favorite characters of all time. I know I end up saying that with a lot of these podcast episodes, but I have a hard time picking favorites. But I genuinely do connect with so many of Baiken's characteristics and her story, so I was really glad that I was able to talk to you guys about it, even despite audio problems and video problems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll all work out.
Even
oh
despite,
my God, that's Sin.
Even despite my pork cutlet speed run any percent.
It's okay. I hope it was a tasty pork cutlet.
Oh, they were delicious. Absolutely phenomenal.
That's wonderful.
But yeah, I think that's about it. Have a good day, everyone, and thank you all for watching. Bye.
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 Thanks, everyone.
We're all gay.
Bye.